is the interpreting results and drawing conclusions in advanced research and data analysis. In advanced research, collecting and analyzing data is only part of the process. The true value lies in interpreting the results, making sense of findings, and drawing conclusions, synthesizing those insights into knowledge that informs theory, practice, or policy. They transform raw data into meaningful insights, allowing researchers to answer their questions, validate hypotheses, and contribute to the existing body of knowledge. The end of our topic for today, we will be able to know what is the importance of interpreting results and drawing conclusions, how to organize data display and description, tips for interpretation of results and search, and last is the drawing conclusion. So, what is the importance of interpreting results and drawing conclusions in research study? Interpreting results and drawing conclusions is one of the most critical stages in advanced research and data analysis because it transforms raw data and statistical outputs into meaningful insights that inform theory, policy, and practice. And here is a more detailed breakdown of the importance. First, answering research questions. Interpretation allows researchers to connect their findings back to the original research questions, determining whether the data supports or refutes their initial assumptions. Um, by analyzing the data, researchers can draw conclusions that directly address the core issues investigated in the study. Second, validating hypotheses. The interpretation of results is essential for determining whether the research hypothesis has been supported or refuted. If the results align with the hypothesis, it strengthens the value of the theory or model that guided the research. Third, contributing to knowledge. Drawing conclusions that are well supported by evidence adds to the existing body of knowledge in a particular field. Research findings can be used to confirm, refine, or even challenge existing theories, leading to further advancement in the field. Fourth, guiding future research. Interpreting results and drawing conclusions can reveal gaps in knowledge or areas that require further investigation. This can help the researchers identify potential research questions and directions for future studies. Next one is the informing practical applications. For applied research, interpreting and findings, interpreting findings and drawing conclusions is crucial for translating research results into practical applications. This can also involve developing new strategies, interventions, or policies based on the research findings. Plus, avoiding misinterpretations. A thorough interpretation helps to avoid misinterpretations of statistical significance and ensures that the findings are applied appropriately. It also helps to identify potential limitations of the study and avoid overgeneralization of the results. And now, let's move on to understanding the interpretation of results and research. The process of interpreting and making meaning of data produced in a research study is known as a research result interpretation. It entails studying the data's patterns, trends, and correlations in order to develop reliable findings and make meaningful conclusions. Interpretation is a crucial step in the research process as it helps researchers to determine the relevance of their results, relate them to existing knowledge, and shape subsequent research goals. A thorough interpretation of results in research may assist guarantee that the findings are legitimate and trustworthy, and that they contribute to the development of knowledge in the area of study. Interpretation of results in research. In advanced research, interpreting results means moving beyond raw data to explain patterns, test theories, and assess implications. It involves go beyond description, not only reporting statistical outcomes, but asking what do these results mean in context? Or let's just say, not just what the numbers say, but what they mean. Example, a regression shows income and education predict health outcomes, but interpretation asks whether education acts through health literacy, economic status, or both. Second, statistical versus substantive significance. A result may be statistically significant but have little real world importance. Advanced interpretation weighs effect size, confidence intervals, and impact. Advanced research stresses both causality versus correlation. Establishing whether observed relationships are causal or merely associative using robust methods. For example, the long, longitudinal data, experiments, instrumental variables, sensitivity analysis. And also we should avoid overstating associated with versus causes. Next is the theoretical integration. Results are interpreted in relation to theories or models. Do they confirm, extend, or challenge existing knowledge? Uh, it should also involve contextualization, compare findings to theory and prior studies, or at least ask, are results consistent with existing literature, or do they challenge established models? Next is the uncertainty and bias. Advanced interpretation acknowledges uncertainty, highlights margins of error, and discusses possible sources of bias for sampling, measurement error, or model assumptions. Interpret also it interprets findings with confidence intervals, margins of error, and robust checks. Next is the triangulation. Combine multiple methods or data sets. For example, the qualitative plus quantitative or surveys plus experiments. If the results converge, uh, interpretation is stronger. If they diverge, explore why. Validity is strengthened when multiple methods, data sources, or perspectives converge on the same conclusion. And the next topic is the how to organize data display and description. Organizing data display and description is another critical stage in the process of analyzing study results. The format in which data is presented has a significant influence on how quickly it may be comprehended and interpreted. Uh, there is one of the best practices for data display and description organization. It should include, or the best practices for qualitative data include the use quotes and anecdotes uh, from participants to illustrate key themes and patterns in the data. Group similar responses. Similar replies should be grouped together to find major themes and patterns in the data. Use tables. Tables to arrange and summarize major themes, categories, or subcategories revealed by the data. Use figures. Figures such as charts or graphs may help you visualize data and spot patterns or trends. Provide context. Explain the research project's topic or hypothesis by being examined, as well as any important background information before presenting the findings. And use simple and direct language. To describe the data being given, use clear and direct language. As for the quantitative data, include the following information for the best practices. It should have uh, the use of relevant charts and graphs. Select the right chart or graph for the data being presented. A bar chart, for example, it could be ideal for categorical data, but a scatter plot might be appropriate for continuous data. Label the axis and include a legend. Label the axis of the chart or graph and include a legend to explain any symbols or colors used. This makes it easier for readers to comprehend the information offered. Provide context. Give context to the data that is being given. This may include a brief summary of the research issue or hypothesis under consideration, as well as any pertinent background information. Use clear and uh, direct language. To describe the data being given, use clear, concise language. Avoid using technical jargons or complex languages that readers may find difficult to comprehend. Highlight significant findings. Highlight noteworthy findings in the provided data. Identifying any trends, patterns, or substantial disparities across groups is one example. Create a summary table. Provide a summary table that explains the data being provided. Key data such as means, medians, and standard deviations may be included. Tips for interpretation of result in research. Here are some key tips to keep in mind when interpreting research results. Number one, keep your research question in mind. The most important piece of advice for interpreting the results is to keep your research question in mind. Your interpretation should be centered on addressing your research question, and all your analysis should be directed in that direction or in one direction. Consider alternate explanations. It's critical to think about alternative explanations for your results. Ask yourself whether any other circumstances might be impacting your findings and carefully assess them. This can assist guarantee that your interpretation is based on the evidence and not on assumptions or biases. Contextualize the results. Put the results into perspective by comparing them to past research in the topic at hand. This can assist in identifying trends, patterns, or discrepancies that you may have missed otherwise, as well as providing a foundation for subsequent research. By following these three tips, you may assist guarantee that your interpretation of data is correct, useful, and relevant to your research topic. For any research project in any specific discipline, drawing conclusions is the final and most important part of the process. The conclusion section in a research paper or report serves as the final synthesis of the study, where key insights, interpretations, and implications are highlighted. This section consolidates the findings, reflects on their significance, and often suggests directions for future research or practical applications. This comprehensive structure ensures that the conclusion section is thorough, well organized, and addresses all critical aspects of research. The following slides will provide a detailed breakdown of what typically comprises the conclusion section. Uh, First, restate the research purpose. Begin by briefly stating the purpose and objectives of the research. This sets the stage for the conclusions and reminds the reader of the study's main focus. Second, summary of key findings. Provide a concise summary of the most significant findings. This should be a high-level overview rather than a detailed recap, emphasizing the results that most directly address the research questions or hypotheses. For the interpretation of findings, discuss the implications of the key findings, explain what the results mean in the context of the research problem, and how they contribute to the existing body of knowledge. Fourth is the theoretical contributions. Elaborate on how the findings advance theoretical understanding, highlight any new theories, models, or frameworks that have emerged from the study. For the practical implications, discuss the practical applications of the findings, explain how the results can be used in real-world settings, such as in industry, policy making, education, or other relevant areas. In addressing the research questions, revisit each research question or hypothesis and explain how the findings provide answers or insights. Ensure that each question is explicitly addressed. Strengths of the study. Highlight the strengths and unique contributions of the study. This might include methodological innovations, comprehensive data collection, or robust analytical techniques. For the limitations and weaknesses, acknowledge the limitations and weaknesses of the study. Discuss how these limitations might affect the interpretation of the findings and suggest ways they could be addressed in future research. Comparison with previous research. Compare your findings with those of previous studies, highlight similarities and differences, and discuss potential reasons for any discrepancies. And for the implications for practice, provide specific recommendations for practitioners based on the findings. This could include new practices this could include new practices, strategies, or interventions that can be implemented. For the policy implications, discuss any implications for policy making. Explain how the findings could inform policy decisions and contribute to the development of effective policies. Recommendations for future research. Suggest areas for future research. Identify gaps in the current study that need further exploration and propose specific research questions or topics for future study. For ethical considerations, reflect on any ethical issues encountered during the research and how they were managed. Discuss the ethical implications of the findings and any recommendations for ethical practice in future research. And for the implications for stakeholders, discuss how the findings affect various stakeholders, such as community, organizations, or specific demographic groups. Highlight any benefits or challenges that stakeholders might face as a result of the findings. And for the methodological reflections, take on the research methodology used in the study. Discuss any strengths and weaknesses of the chosen methods and suggest potential improvements. For the cross-disciplinary implications, explore the relevance of the findings across different disciplines. Discuss how the results might inform or benefit other fields of study. For personal reflections, include any personal reflections or insights gained during the research process. This might include unexpected learnings, challenges faced, or key takeaways. And for the conclusion, end with a strong concluding paragraph that encapsulates the overall significance of the research, reinforce the main contributions and the potential impact of the study. The final remarks provide any final remarks or closing thoughts. This could include a call to action, a statement on the importance of ongoing research, or a reflection on the broader implications of the study. For the summary of recommendations, briefly summarize the main recommendations made in the conclusion section. This serves as a quick reference for readers looking for actionable insights. Next is the call for collaboration. Encourage collaboration between researchers, practitioners, and policymakers. Highlight the importance of working together to implement the findings and address the research problem. Reflect on research process. Reflect on the research process itself. Discuss any significant learnings or experiences that might inform future research practices. Addressing unresolved questions. Identify any unresolved questions or areas of ambiguity. Suggest ways these questions could be addressed in future research. Broader impact. Discuss the broader impact of the research. Explain how the findings contribute to the wider community or society at large. And last, the final thought. End with a thought-provoking statement or question that leaves the reader with something to ponder. This could be related to the ongoing importance of the research topic or the potential for future discoveries. Example of inclusion and the effectiveness of e-governance initiatives in improving public service delivery in urban municipalities. This research evaluated the impact of e-governance initiatives on public service delivery in urban municipalities, focusing on transparency, efficiency, and citizen satisfaction. Each research question was thoroughly addressed. The study confirmed that e-governance enhances transparency, improves efficiency, and increases citizen satisfaction. Findings indicate significant improvements across these areas, highlighting the transformative potential of digital platforms in enhancing administrative processes and citizen access to services. Practical implications include the need for continued investment in e-governance to sustain these gains, alongside policy efforts to address the digital divide and ensure equitable access to digital services. Future research should explore e-governance impacts in diverse settings and over extended periods, aiming to refine strategies for inclusive digital governance and maximize public sector efficiency. And before we go, here are some key takeaways for the interpreting results and drawing conclusions. Interpreting results explaining patterns, contextualizing findings, assessing causality, and accounting for uncertainty. While for the drawing conclusions, it's synthesizing interpretations into knowledge that advances theory, informs practice, and guide policy. Both require caution, transparency, and critical thinking, the hallmarks of advanced research. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, again, thank you to our presenter for that insightful and well-organized discussion. The session reminds us that interpreting result is both a technical and a reflective stage of research. No? It involves examining data not as isolated figures, no? but as representation of deeper administrative realities. No? How governance is structures perform, how leaders make decisions, and how public services impact communities. No? Interpretation demands linking empirical outcomes to theoretical construct, thus ensuring that findings contribute to the scholarly dialogue in public administration. So a significant takeaway is that interpretation must be anchored, no, in the research question and objective, and each piece of data must be traced back, no, to the inquiry that prompted it, no, ensuring coherence and logical flow. So doctoral scholars, no, must articulate what the data implies for policy, institutional effectiveness, and citizen participation. This moves research from being descriptive, not to being transformative, guiding actual improvements in governance and management system. The presentation also emphasized, no, the importance of validity, credibility, and triangulation or triangulation in interpreting results. When results from multiple methods converge, they strengthen the legitimacy, no, of conclusion. In governance research, no, such triangulated findings provide a more holistic understanding of public institutions and enable evidence-based policymaking. So drawing conclusion requires discernment and prudence. No? The researchers must synthesize findings without exaggeration, carefully distinguishing between what is empirically demonstrated and what remains speculative. No? This ensures that conclusion retain academic integrity while still offering actionable insights. For public administration, conclusions should point toward policy reforms, administrative innovation, and citizen-centered outcomes. No? Equally notable is the ethical responsibility tied to interpretation because public administration or public administration scholars, no, often deal with sensitive data involving people, organizations, and communities. Therefore, conclusion must be presented with objectivity and respect, avoiding political bias or manipulation. So, this ethical awareness reinforces the researcher's roles as a custodian of truth in public service. The discussion also highlighted the integration of theoretical and practical lenses. Now, effective conclusion connect findings with frameworks such as new public market governance theory or institutionalism, demonstrating how research contributes to advancing administrative thought and leadership practice. This theoretical grounding distinguishes doctoral research from operational efforts or technical evaluation. In the end, interpreting results and drawing conclusions signify the culmination of scholarly maturity. It is the moment when data becomes meaning and meaning becomes wisdom, guiding public administration toward better governance, transparency, and social equity. It transformed the researchers from a data gatherer into a knowledge creator and policy influencer. So, as a scholar in the Doctor in Public Administration program, let us carry forward the principle that the ultimate purpose of interpretation is not only to explain what is, no, but to envision what could be. No, using research as a compass for good governance and sustainable public leadership. Okay?